Hey guys, got another interesting find here. It's a 2014 Chevrolet Captiva with the 4-cylinder, and it was brought in for a check engine light and a rattling noise coming from the engine. I'll start it up and demonstrate here. So you could hear the loud rattling noise, and then if I brake torque it, you can hear it gets louder. The engine's just running very poorly overall. And then I got this message here. The low oil pressure light is coming on intermittently as well. Now, seeing as this engine has variable valve timing and the camshaft is actuated by engine oil pressure, if you lose engine oil pressure, the cam can't maintain the proper position and the engine will run rough, as you were seeing there earlier. And although it's not on now, the low oil pressure light was on earlier. I'm going to shut it off here for now. I'm going to show you exactly what happened here and what caused this problem. On this Captiva here, you got your engine, and the oil filter is located right here. And this is a cartridge type. Basically what you're looking at on top here is the oil filter cartridge cap, and that screws on. And if you look back there behind the cap where I'm shining my light, you'll see that little stray piece of rubber there. That is actually the seal that is supposed to go on the cap and seal the oil in the canister and keep it from leaking out. But as you can see, it wasn't put on correctly, and I've seen this probably about 5 or 6 times now. I've seen it on Volkswagens and these 2.4 engines especially, where they don't put that seal on correctly and then they just spin it down, you're not paying attention, and it rips the seal and it doesn't seal properly, and you leak all your oil out. As you can see, dripping oil there, and I got a nice puddle of oil on my shop floor. So I'm gonna take the filter out here and show you where they put the seal and why it failed, and where you're supposed to put the seal. We'll put a new filter in, fill it up with oil, and hopefully it'll be good to go. I think we caught it in time and didn't cause any severe engine damage. In case you're wondering what kind of tool you use to get that type of filter off, I'll show you here. I use a 3/8 inch ratchet with an extension swivel on the end, and then this is specially designed socket for it. It's a 32, as you can see, 32 millimeter, and it's a real shallow socket. It's designed to fit over that cap just right, so I'll show you how this works. Just fits right on top like so. I like this ratchet because it's got multiple positions you can put the ratchet in, provided I can. It's a little tricky to do with one hand here. There we go. So now I've got it positioned up like that, as you can see. And then you just spin it off. This wasn't even hardly tight at all. This will get messy. If it weren't for the engine already being covered with oil from that seal being torn, I would normally have a rag right in here to catch the oil, but seeing as I'm going to have to power wash this out anyway, I'm not too worried about it. Let's go ahead and pull this out. Normally I would be wearing a glove too, but oh well. It's a little tricky to get out. You kind of have to wiggle it around a bit, and there it is. So there's the filter, and as you can see, here's the seal right here. That's where it torn. What happened was they didn't put it on correctly, and it caught just like so on the lip, and when they tightened it down, it literally just cut the seal right off. The part that was sticking out was cut off. Sometimes what'll happen, even though this was on correctly, they obviously had a part of it sticking off, so maybe it was a seal that was too big, or something else could have happened. The other thing I've seen people do is they'll actually position it on the threaded portion of this cap, like so, and that'll also tear them up. That usually happens on Volkswagens because it is kind of confusing as to where exactly that ring is supposed to go. That had me worried there a little bit, but I don't think that's metal. I don't see any metal in the filter, so I think the engine itself mechanically is still fine. I'm going to get a new filter and a new seal, show you how to put it on, put it back in, top it off with oil, and let's see what happens. Alright, here is the old filter. I'm going to go ahead and pop it out. So there's that. Here's the old ring. Take that off. Here's the new filter. It's a little bit different design, but as you can see, it's pretty much the same thing. And here is your new O-ring seal. So just put this on. As you can see, that seal is a much tighter fit. So it was probably the wrong seal. That would be my guess. As you can see, the seal fits snug and the little ring there for it. It doesn't move around. So that's how it looks once you've got it all set up correctly. The other thing I do is I'll just take a little film of oil, just run it along that new seal there so it seats fine. You don't have to worry about it coming out of place. And we'll put the filter back in the housing. Take care to make sure that the threads start correctly. They give you a torque spec on it as well if you want to follow that, but I always get them hand tight. I've never had a problem. Now we'll fill it up with oil. This engine holds 5 quarts, so I've got 4 quarts in the container now. I'm going to start with that, seeing as it was pretty much completely out of oil. I figured I'd go ahead and put 4 in there and start with that. If I need more, I can always add more. Alright, the engine oil is topped off, new filter is installed, so we'll go ahead and start it up, check for leaks. And you can tell there was a dry start there due to the initial lack of oil, but it's running much smoother now than it was before. So let's go take a look and check for leaks. Still residue from the previous leak, but everything looks good. Looks good and sealed. Now, as I was saying earlier, the engine's variable valve timing is controlled by engine oil pressure, which it was lacking, so we most likely have some codes set for camshaft position. Okay, we've got a misfire code. There's one camshaft code. So it's basically just that camshaft code and a misfire code. We'll just clear these out, take it for a drive, and make sure it drives fine. If it's all good to go, then the vehicle's all right, ready for service again. So just thought I'd make a little video there to show you the importance of making sure that you double check your seals, double check for oil leaks after doing an oil change, and you won't have this problem. Anyways, hope you guys found the video interesting.